Welcome to Journeys with Jason George, episode 35. Epic J-Day, June 15th/16th, 2022. As I head into the park, I spot a few turkeys and then this big bull moose. I haven't even started the day, and I've already put a big bull moose on the board. Wow. Oh, well, some of you may be wondering what a J-Day is. A J-Day is a day where I go and I do something that I really want just to get away from the hassles and stresses of life. It's just sort of a me day. And anytime I have a thought about something I want to do, I just sort of go and do it. So my J-Day started with a trip to Algonquin on the 16th of June. But I decided I'd go up the night before and sleep in my car and try to make the most of the wildlife, because I haven't really been out in wildlife recently, as funds are sometimes tight as a wildlife photographer. Oh, I guess that car scared the moose away. Look at how well it hid. A snapping turtle. Man, there are a lot of them out this time of year. I wonder how many I'll see on this trip. The reason they come to the road is it's a nice sandy, warm spot that they can lay their eggs. And unfortunately, when they come to the road, sometimes they get hit by cars, so you need to move them in the direction that they were moving. But if they're laying on the side of the road, maybe they might be nesting. So it's kind of a tough choice on what to do. I love the pattern on the shell. Oh, here's a second turtle? Wow, there's a lot of snapping turtles out today. Well, this actually confused me. When I first saw them, I was telling people I saw a mother and a yearling. Upon closer review, I noticed that both of them actually have small nubs. So I'm assuming they're both males. So I only saw males on this trip. Interesting. Oh, and I did catch a snake slithering away. And on my way out of the park, I noticed the water rippling. Yep, that's the Canadian icon, the beaver. Oh, it's washing its face and it's grabbing probably a late night snack. It's crazy that I've already seen this much, and it's only the first day. I've seen 3 turkeys, 3 male mooses, 2 snappers, and a beaver? Wow. Tomorrow hopefully could be a good day. After I went and hung out with this beaver for a bit, I went to the restaurant. And as I walked in, I recognized the bartender. It's pretty sweet. She needed a ride home. I needed a place to sleep that was a little bit comfier than my car. I got a couch and a good night's sleep. Unfortunately, that meant I entered the park a little bit later than I wanted. But look who found me as I came into the park. This beautiful deer. And as I watched this deer, I honestly was hoping that there would be a little tiny fawn head that popped up. I'm just going to let you know, there is no fawn that pops up. I really wish it did happen, but this is the time of year to see a fawn or a lot of baby animals. That's what makes spring so amazing, is that you can see a lot of baby animals. And that was actually the goal of the trip. My goal is to see 7 moose and hopefully a few babies. Anything else would just be considered bonus. So this deer on the way into the park, that's a huge bonus. Especially because I don't often see deer in Algonquin Park. Have you ever seen a deer in Algonquin Park? I can probably count on a hand how many deer I've actually seen in the park. I've seen a few just outside the park. And this one was hanging out just outside the park. But look at the color of this one. It is so vibrant and beautiful. I wonder how many people actually noticed this deer as it hung out at the side of the road. Not gonna lie, I have been pretty lucky on the things I've seen with deer. I've seen them fight. I've seen them, well, I've seen a male deer mount a female deer and make bucks. The only thing I haven't seen is actually them giving birth. I've seen a few babies, and I was really hoping that I'd see a fawn today. But it wasn't meant to be. But I did get to spend quite a bit of time with this deer. And again, you can tell it's a female because it has no antlers. Oh, and you can tell it's a white-tailed deer by the way that you can see its white tail as it bounds through the field. And then it just calms down and walks slowly away. But since we saw so many turtles yesterday, I guess turtles are going to be a theme for today. Oh, they're just dropping eggs all over the place. Some of them are actually quite large. I've seen quite a few really large snapping turtles in my day, but I've already seen like 4 turtles today. And here you can actually see some of the eggs. I was hoping that I would get a better angle on some eggs during this trip, but I don't want to disturb them while they're laying their eggs. It looks like it's a pretty tiring task based on her face. And I wonder how many eggs they actually lay at a time. Well, as I was driving around, I noticed a few butterflies flying around, and these are often the first butterflies that come. And then we've got another one. And then I saw this big monster on the side of the road. Oh. And you can hear the water in the distance. And look at the size of this snapping turtle. I don't know if I'd want to have to try to move this one. Look at the size of that neck. Oh. It doesn't want me to move it either. And don't worry, I wasn't planning to move it. And up it goes, like a tank. Almost like one of those vehicles in Star Wars. And it just moves through the grass. Get out of here. Maybe that's where the creators got the idea for that vehicle. And it's funny watching how it just moves through the weeds. Or flowers, depending on what you think these are. Because to one person it might be a weed, to another person it's a flower. We all have a different perspective on things. To this turtle it's probably just a nuisance in its pathway. But it's funny to watch how the bush just moves as he walks through and tries to get to the river. I hope he gets it. And off we go, and we find another snapping turtle laying eggs. Man, how many snapping turtles is that now? I think it's got to be at least 5. Wow, 5 snapping turtles in 2 days? Man, we're having a lot of luck. How many is the most snapping turtles you've ever seen in a day? Oh, one more, laying eggs on the side of the road, right by the east gate. Wait, I know it's at the east gate. Maybe we should go and pay a little bit of respect. Yeah, at the east gate, there's the totem pole. I always stop by here. And there's a bear on the bottom, and there's a turtle. Well, actually, there's a fire on the bottom, then a bear, a turtle. I'm assuming it's a native or indigenous person, and an eagle. And as I leave, I go and I stop at another turtle. And you can kind of see the foot moving, pushes the egg a little bit further or into a better spot. And then I see a turkey, and I sort of am like, why was it sitting on the ground? And wait, those are baby turkeys. Oh, there's 2 babies at least that I can see. I can't find them with my camera, but I can hear them. And then I found something sad. I saw a raven fly off with a little animal in its mouth. Upon further searching, I noticed this egg. I wonder if it's a wild turkey egg. Well, I know what those eggs are. Those are turtle eggs. And I'm assuming a fox probably got to those. And then we see a loon off in the distance. And one of the waterways. That's pretty cool. Then we see the smallest snapping turtle of the day, about the size of a hockey puck. And then the day gets super exciting. I saw 2 cubs and a mama bear. The 2 cubs ran off into the forest, and mama bear went searching for food. Wow, a black bear. It's funny. Didn't I just go to the totem pole and see a bear on the totem pole? And now I'm seeing a bear? I've only seen maybe 2 or 3 bears while being in Algonquin Park. And I haven't seen them for long periods of time. This has already been the most time I've spent with a bear in Algonquin Park. And you can see her searching for food. Let's just sort of sit back and watch as she searches for food in this windy day. I think she's probably looking for like worms and grubs and bugs and beetles. Have you ever seen a bear? Oh, if you do, please be careful. They can be very aggressive. All animals actually can be aggressive, especially when they have babies around. So please respect them and keep your distance. But if you do get to see a bear, enjoy it because it is a blessing. They say that every animal that you see is a sign or a signal and it sends you a message. Have you ever actually looked into that? I have a couple friends who are really big into that and they're starting to pass that knowledge on to me. Feel free to leave comments on what you think about seeing a bear or other animals. And if you believe in the message the indigenous people believe or felt that they were sending to them. My day's been pretty complete. And then I headed to the park office and I was talking to someone and they gave me a tip. And that's when my day took a turn to get even better. Right, how do you get better than a bear? Well, you happen to turn the corner and you see a loon sitting on the nest. And it's funny because I was joking around with the people telling me, and I was like, well, I'm going to go see some baby loons now. And as I turned the corner, I found a loon and it was sitting there on a nest. Oh, it's been about 2 weeks since the loon had been seen on the nest. And clearly you can see that it's quite hot because its mouth is open. And while I was sitting there, watching it, I moved into a different location. Multiple people actually walked by without noticing the loon or myself. So we got to enjoy this moment pretty peacefully. I actually got so much footage with this loon and what's about to happen that I'm going to be releasing a video just on the loon. It'll be episode 37. It'll be called Loon Babies. Well, Loon Baby, I should say. But as I sat there, I was just in absolute awe of this majestic creature that I know that we've all held in our hand, right? That golden coin. Well, this loon was pretty special. Or this moment was pretty special. And as I was sitting there, the loon decided to share with me something. It shared with me its 2 eggs. And when I noticed the eggs, I actually looked pretty close and I was like, wait a second. Those eggs look like the eggs I saw earlier that the raven was eating. Huh. Maybe they weren't wild turkey eggs, but loon eggs. Well, let me tell you. I got quite a bit of cool footage of the eggs and the eggs breaking open. But again, I'm sharing that in a separate video because I don't want to make this video too long. But the loon nestles down and I decide I'm going to nestle down and I'm going to sit here and wait to see what happens when... Well, when what? Well, when the other loon shows up. And also when they switch over from nesting positions and when the baby actually cracks the egg and I can see it. Unfortunately, I didn't get to actually see the moment of it cracking the egg, but I could hear it.
I can totally hear the little one squeaking. There.
This is the baby loon, the firstborn. I didn't stay for the secondborn because I wanted to go and enjoy the park, but can you see the little baby there? That's probably the youngest loon you may ever see. I think it's minutes old here. But I decided to leave after spending quite a while with the loon, and I was blessed with this monster moose. I spent quite a while with that loon, maybe 4 hours, and as I came out from spending some time, I see this, and I was worried about missing animals while I was with the loon. Yeah. Well, I guess the animals waited around for me because I saw quite a bit after the loon, and my day just kept getting better. One moose? Oh, this puts me at like, how many? I think I'm getting pretty close to that number of 7. Have you been keeping track? Yeah, that's right. That's 4 moose. And a lot of people thought it was crazy when I said that I'd see 7 moose in my trip. But I thought I would. Yep. You make 4. And off you go. Look at how easy or how well this animal can hide with just a few leaves. Oh. And around the corner, that's number 5. Huh. The sun's not my friend right now as it's starting to drop. It's making photography a little bit harder. But the moose are out, it seems. And I got to spend some time with that baby loon, and I've already seen 2 bull mooses since I've left. Oh, this has honestly been a great day, and I hope that you're enjoying this video. If you are enjoying the video, please like, subscribe, and share. Not only this video, but other videos that I make. They're pretty fun, and if you have any comments, please leave them, and I will answer them, or at least try my best to answer them. But you might notice that I've actually moved to the other side of the moose because I want to use the light to help me take my pictures. Before it was backlit when I first found this moose, but as I walked to the other side, I can now use the light to help me show more detail. But this moose keeps looking into the one direction, and I'm not really sure what's going on. And I want to check out some other spots. Do I hang out with this moose, or do I go off and try to find another moose, or whatever is out there? And it's always a complex decision on, do I hang out, do I go? What would you do? Well, I watched this guy for a little bit, and he was just really drinking in the same spot, and I figured, you know what? I'm just going to go off and see what else I see. And around the next corner, oh, a big moose. Another one? What? This is amazing. That now puts me at 6. Oh, yeah, that moose was peeing right there. But I've now seen 6 moose? Oh, I'm getting pretty close. The night's also getting pretty close to wrapping up. But this moose is very hungry, and it seems to be very particular on what it wants to eat. You can see how it actually got down nice and low and picked the low branches. I wonder what makes the low branches better. I would have picked the ones that were easier to get, if you were asking me. But I'm not a moose. I don't know what the good branches are. Do you know which are the good branches? Or what makes a good branch? And why is it that branch that it likes? Like that whole tree has lots of leaves on it. Oh, well, I guess it's not just the low branches it likes to eat. Look at the rack and just the color of this fur on this moose. I cannot wait to see this moose and other moose in the fall time when their antlers are nice and full. And as I was leaving, I see 7. Oh man, that's amazing. I got my 7th moose. Wait, no, this is 7. Yeah, but if that's 7, then that makes that 8. Wow, 8 moose. And yep, these ones are males, all bulls. And you need to be careful when you're driving through the park because, look, these moose get spooked by this one as it drives by. They could have run out onto the road and you could have been hit. Man, luckily they settled down and ate some greenery. I have once seen a dead moose on the road, and I've once seen a skeleton on the side of the road. But watch how these 2 moose just sort of vanish. The largest animal in North America just vanishes behind a few trees, and you wonder why sometimes you don't see them in the park. Well, I was leaving the park and I noticed 2 animals on the side of the road, and that made for a pretty epic day. 4 turkeys with 2 babies, 8 bull moose, 7 snappers, 1 snake, 1 beaver, 1 deer, 3 foxes, 3 loons, 1 coming out of the shell, 1 being eaten. And now this fox hunting. Although it's a little dark, you can still see and hear him hunting. Well, until next time, stay safe, have fun, and enjoy the journey. Episode 37 will have the loon babies. Check out my social media.